The crocodile has the single strongest bite that has ever been measured. 3,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, jaws that have barely changed in 100 million years. It fears almost nothing, but it shares its river with one animal it will not go near. Something bigger, something that eats grass, something that is technically a cousin of the whale. Meet the one neighbor, the deadliest reptile on earth, refuses to fight. And by the end of this, you'll understand why that truce is the smartest decision that crocodile ever made. So here's where we're headed together. First, we'll look at how these two share the same water every single day without a war breaking out. Then I want to introduce you to the hippo properly because it is so much stranger than you think. We'll get into the actual fight and why the animal with the weaker bite still wins. And then we'll reach the part that genuinely surprised me the most about what this gentle grass eater really is. By the time we're done, you'll see that quiet river completely differently. So come on, let's get into it. Picture an African river at dawn. On one bank, crocodiles. In the water, a pod of hippos, two of the most dangerous animals in Africa, packed into the same stretch of water day after day. And most of the time, nothing happens. They drift past each other. They share the same mud, the same shallows, the same patch of shade. It looks peaceful. It looks almost friendly, but this is not friendship. This is a truce. And a truce only holds because one side has done the math and decided the fight isn't worth it. So the real question isn't why crocodiles and hippos get along. It's what the crocodile knows that keeps it from ever starting something. Here's the thing we get wrong about crocodiles. We think of them as mindless killing machines. They're not. A crocodile is a patient, calculating ambush hunter, and every hunt is a gamble. It has to weigh the size of the meal against the risk of getting hurt. Because out here, an injury isn't a bad day. An injury that stops you hunting is a slow death sentence. So a crocodile is happy to take an antelope, a wildebeest, a fish, a bird, low risk, easy meal. Now put an adult hippo in front of it. A big Nile crocodile might weigh 1,000 pounds. An adult male hippo can weigh nearly 9,000. That is not a bigger opponent. That is a different category of animal entirely. And the crocodile can see instantly that there is no version of this fight where the reward is worth the risk. So it doesn't attack, not because it's scared in the way we're scared, because it can count. So what exactly is the crocodile choosing not to fight? Because a hippo does not look like a killer. It looks like a giant, wobbly, grumpy potato. That's the trap. Watch what happens when it opens its mouth. A hippo can open its jaws to almost 180 degrees, nearly 4 feet wide. And that yawn you think is sleepy, it's a threat. It's the hippo showing you the weapons. Because inside that mouth are canine teeth that never stop growing, up to 20 inches long. And they sharpen themselves. Every time the hippo closes its mouth, the lower teeth grind against the upper ones, honing a fresh edge for life. This animal is walking around with 2-foot self-sharpening ivory blades that it uses to eat grass, and it will absolutely use them for something else. Now, here's the part that should be impossible. The crocodile actually has the stronger bite, around 3,000 pounds of force, versus the hippo's 1,800. On paper, the croc should win the mouth-to-mouth fight, but it doesn't. And this is where size stops being a number and starts being a weapon. The crocodile's bite is strong, but its teeth are built to grip and hold, not to crush through the thick hide of something this enormous. The hippo doesn't need to grip. It just closes those giant jaws around the crocodile and applies almost a ton of pressure across a mouth wide enough to swallow it whole. There are documented cases of a hippo biting a crocodile clean in half, crushing its skull like a shell. The animal with the weaker bite wins because the fight was never really about bite force. It was about who was bringing 4 tons to the table. And the crocodile doing its quiet math, already knew that. Now, don't get the wrong idea. This truce has a cruel fine print. The rule is won't attack an adult hippo. A baby is a completely different equation. A hippo calf, a sick adult, an old one that's fallen behind, or one that's already died. Suddenly the math flips and the crocodile is very interested. Crocodiles are patient. They wait for the pod to make a mistake. So it's not that crocodiles can't hurt hippos, it's that a healthy adult surrounded by its pod is a wall the crocodile is smart enough never to run into. The truce isn't respect. It's a cost benefit calculation running 24 hours a day. And if you still think the hippo is just a big angry cow, wait, because this is the part that surprised me the most. A hippo can't actually swim, it's too dense to float. So when it goes underwater, it isn't swimming at all. It's walking or galloping in slow motion along the bottom of the river. This 4-ton animal moves through deep water like an astronaut on the moon. It can hold its breath for 5 minutes and it seals its own ears and nostrils shut when it goes under. Now, here's the fact that rewired my brain. The hippo's closest living relative isn't the pig or the cow or anything on land. It's the whale. Around 55 million years ago, they shared an ancestor and one branch walked back into the water for good. That's why they're built for it. And that red stuff people swore was the hippo sweating blood. It's not blood. It's a substance the hippo produces itself that works as sunscreen and antibiotic at the same time. A 4-ton grass-eating whale cousin that makes its own medicine. The crocodile is sharing a river with that. You've probably seen the videos. A crocodile grabs an impala, and out of nowhere, a hippo comes charging in to drive the croc off. The internet calls it a hero, the gentle giant saving a life. But scientists who study this are honest about it. Nobody actually knows why hippos do this. And it's almost certainly not kindness. A hippo is wildly, explosively territorial. That charge probably isn't save the impala. It's get out of my water. The impala just happens to be standing in the path of the same rage that makes this animal so dangerous, which brings us to the part nobody puts in the cute compilations, because that gentle grass eater, it is widely called the most dangerous large land animal in Africa. It's fiercely territorial, it's shockingly fast, and it does not bluff. On land, over a short distance, a hippo can hit around 30 kilometers an hour. That's faster than you can run. Now, I want to be honest with you, because a lot of videos are not. You'll hear that hippos kill 500 people a year, more than any other African animal. The truth is that exact number is disputed and hard data is thin. But here's what isn't disputed. When a hippo does attack a person, it is extraordinarily likely to be fatal. This is not an animal that warns you twice. And the crocodile, the so-called king of the river, figured that out a long time ago. So let's go back to that peaceful river at dawn. We look at a crocodile and see the ultimate predator. Strongest bite on earth, armored, ancient, fearless, and all of that is true. But the smartest thing that crocodile does all day isn't a hunt. It's the hunt it chooses not to start. The real apex of that river isn't the one with the strongest jaws. It's the 4-ton whale cousin with self-sharpening tusks and a temper like a landmine, and the reptile clever enough to leave it completely alone. So the next time you see a crocodile lying motionless next to a hippo, don't think they're friends. They're not. That crocodile is just the one animal in the river smart enough to know exactly what it's sitting next to. If that changed how you see these two, subscribe, because the next one's even stranger.